The dusty road stretched like a vein through the heart of Montana, leading me straight into a storm I never saw coming. I gripped the steering wheel tighter as the ranch house loomed ahead, its weathered boards whispering secrets of family ties and hidden desires. Little did I know, one accidental brush of fingers would unravel my carefully guarded life, forcing me to confront a love that could shatter everything. My name is Alex Thompson, and at 28, I'd built a fortress around my heart in the bustling streets of New York City. As a graphic designer, my days were filled with deadlines and digital illusions, far from the raw authenticity of the American West. But when my college buddy, Jake Harlan, invited me to his family's ranch for a much-needed escape, I jumped at the chance. We'd been inseparable back in school, sharing late-night confessions over cheap beer, dreaming of futures that seemed limitless. Jake was straight as an arrow, married now to his high school sweetheart, Sarah, and running the ranch with the kind of easy confidence I envied. Me. I'd dated women sporadically, but deep down, I knew the truth I'd buried. I was gay, and terrified of what admitting it might cost me. The flight to Billings was turbulent, mirroring the unease bubbling in my chest. Why now? Why visit after years of sporadic texts and holiday cards? Maybe it was the burnout from city life, or perhaps the loneliness that crept in during quiet evenings. Jake had sounded excited on the phone, talking about fresh air, horseback rides, and getting back to basics. I needed to feel grounded again. As I rented a truck at the airport and drove the 2 hours to Harlan Ranch, the landscape shifted from urban sprawl to endless skies and rolling hills dotted with cattle. The air smelled of pine and earth, a stark contrast to the exhaust fumes I knew too well. Pulling up to the gate, I honked, and Jake came bounding out, his blonde hair tousled under a baseball cap, his grin as wide as the horizon. "Alex. Man, you made it." He pulled me into a bear hug, slapping my back with the familiarity of old times. Sarah waved from the porch, her pregnant belly rounding out her sundress, and their 2-year-old daughter, Lily, toddled behind, clutching a stuffed horse. "Welcome to paradise," Jake said, leading me inside. The house was cozy chaos, boots by the door, family photos on the walls, the scent of fresh-baked pie wafting from the kitchen. We caught up over coffee, laughing about college pranks and lost dreams. But then, the door swung open, and in walked Ethan Harlan, Jake's older brother. At 32, Ethan was the epitome of rugged masculinity, tall, broad-shouldered, with piercing blue eyes and a jawline shadowed by stubble. He wore faded jeans that hugged his thighs and a denim shirt rolled up to reveal tanned forearms marked by the scars of ranch life. He nodded at me, his voice a low rumble. "You must be Alex. Heard a lot about you." Our hands met in a shake, and that's when it happened. A lingering touch, his calloused fingers brushing mine just a second too long. Electricity shot through me, unbidden and undeniable. I pulled back, forcing a smile, but Ethan's gaze held mine, something unspoken flickering in those depths. Was it my imagination? Or did he feel it too? That first evening, we gathered around the fire pit as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Jake strummed a guitar, singing off-key country tunes, while Sarah roasted marshmallows for s'mores. Lily giggled in my lap, sticky fingers tugging at my shirt. Ethan sat across from me, his presence like a magnet. He shared stories of the ranch, how their father had built it from nothing, how they'd weathered droughts and market crashes. His voice was steady, but every so often, his eyes would drift to me, stirring a warmth I hadn't felt in years. As night fell, stars blanketed the sky like scattered diamonds. Jake and Sarah retired early, leaving Ethan and me to stoke the dying fire. "City boy like you must find this boring," he teased, poking the embers. Not at all, I replied, my heart pounding. It's real. He leaned closer, the firelight dancing on his face. Real can be dangerous. Makes you face things you'd rather ignore. Our conversation flowed effortlessly, from ranch hardships to personal battles. Ethan confessed he'd left for the military at 18, serving 2 tours in Afghanistan before returning to help Jake after their parents' passing. War changes you, he said softly. Makes you question who you are. I nodded, swallowing hard. I get that. City's full of masks. That night, in the guest room, sleep evaded me. Ethan's touch replayed in my mind, a simple gesture igniting forbidden flames. Was I reading too much into it? Or was this the start of something that could upend my world? The next morning dawned crisp and clear. Jake dragged me out for chores, feeding horses, mending fences. Ethan joined us, his movements efficient and graceful. As we worked side by side, our arms brushed occasionally, each contact sending jolts through me. By afternoon, Jake suggested a trail ride. Show Alex the backcountry, he said. Saddled up on a gentle mare named Daisy, I followed the brothers through meadows alive with wildflowers. Ethan rode ahead, his silhouette strong against the mountains. At a creek, we dismounted to let the horses drink. Jake wandered off to check a snare, leaving Ethan and me alone. You're good with Lily, Ethan observed, skipping stones across the water. She's adorable, I said. You ever think about kids? He paused, his expression darkening. Once. But life complicates things. There was a vulnerability in his voice that pulled at me. Before I could respond, he turned, his hand grazing my shoulder. Alex, there's something about you. Makes me feel alive again. My breath caught. Was this real? In that moment, under the vast Montana sky, I leaned in, our lips meeting in a tentative kiss. It was electric, tasting of salt and promise. But as quickly as it happened, guilt flooded me. Jake was my friend, his brother. This could destroy everything. We pulled apart, breathless. We can't, I whispered. Ethan's eyes searched mine. But what if we have to? The ride back was silent, tension thick as fog. That evening, over dinner, I avoided Ethan's gaze. But Jake noticed. You okay, bud? Looked like you saw a ghost. Just tired, I lied, my mind racing. What had I done? As days blurred, the ranch became a battleground of emotions. Mornings brought shared glances over coffee. Afternoons, stolen moments in the barn. Ethan's touch was addictive, a hand on my back while saddling horses, fingers intertwining under the table. But fear not at me. I'd never come out to anyone, let alone in a place like this, where traditions ran deep. One night, after everyone slept, Ethan knocked on my door. Can't stop thinking about you, he murmured, pulling me close. Our kisses deepened, bodies pressing in urgent need. In his arms, I felt seen, desired. But dawn brought reality, Jake's unsuspecting smiles, Sarah's kind eyes. How could I betray them? Then came the storm. Literally. Dark clouds rolled in, unleashing torrential rain. We rushed to secure the animals, but a calf went missing. Ethan and I ventured out on horseback, lightning cracking overhead. Soaked and shivering, we found the calf trapped in a gully. Working together, we freed it. But in the chaos, Ethan slipped, twisting his ankle. I helped him back, his arm around my shoulders, our bodies close. In the barn, as I bandaged him, he confessed, I've known I was gay since the army. Hid it for years. But you make me want to stop hiding. Tears stung my eyes. Me too. But Jake. We'll figure it out. He promised. Little did we know. The real storm was just beginning. The revelation hung between us like the lingering scent of rain on hay. Ethan's words echoed in my mind as I helped him hobble back to the house, the weight of our secret pressing heavier with each step. That night, sleep was a distant dream. Instead, I lay awake, replaying every stolen glance, every forbidden touch, wondering if this budding love was worth the risk of shattering lifelong bonds. The following days blurred into a tense rhythm. Jake, oblivious, threw himself into ranch repairs post-storm, enlisting my help with enthusiasm. You're a natural, Alex. Ever think about ditching the city? He'd joke, clapping my shoulder. Guilt twisted in my gut like barbed wire. Ethan and I stole moments a quick kiss behind the silo, whispered confessions under starlit skies. His stories of suppressed desires in the military mirrored my own urban isolation, forging a connection deeper than physical attraction. But cracks began to show. Sarah, perceptive as ever, cornered me one afternoon while folding laundry. You seem distracted. Alex. Everything okay? Her warm eyes searched mine, and I mumbled about work stress, hating the lie. Lily, sensing the undercurrents, clung to me more, her innocent hugs a reminder of the family I risked depending. Midweek, Jake planned a barbecue for neighbors, turning the ranch into a hub of laughter and smoke. Ethan grilled steaks, his easy charm drawing admiration, but his eyes found mine across the crowd, sparking heat. As dusk fell, music played, and couples danced under string lights. Jake pulled Sarah close, their love evident. Envy pierced Mui, couldn't it be that simple? Later, when the guests departed, Ethan and I slipped away to the old hayloft. I can't keep pretending, he said, his hands framing my face. Our passion ignited, clothes shedding in frantic need. In that loft, surrounded by the scent of alfalfa and earth, we explored each other with tenderness born of long-denied longing. His touch was reverent, tracing scars both visible and hidden, whispering affirmations that healed old wounds. But ecstasy gave way to reality. As we dressed, a noise below startled us, Jake's voice calling for Ethan. Panic surged. We descended separately, hearts pounding. Jake eyed us curiously but said nothing, chalking it up to brotherly bonding. The tension escalated the next day during a cattle drive. Hooves thundered across the plains as we herded the herd to fresh pastures. Ethan rode beside me, our knees brushing, words unspoken but felt. Suddenly, a steer bolted, charging toward me. Ethan spurred his horse, intercepting it with expert skill, but the chaos caused my mount to rear. I clung on, but fear gripped minute of falling, but of losing control in every sense. That evening, by the fire, Jake shared beers with us. You two seem tight, he observed casually. Ethan's face paled slightly, and I choked on my sip. Yeah, Ethan's been showing me the ropes. I managed. Jake nodded, but his eyes lingered. Good. Family's everything here. Guilt festered. I confided in Ethan later. We have to tell him. This isn't fair. He agreed, but fear etched his features. What if he hates me? Us. The decision weighed heavy as we planned to confess. But fate intervened. The next morning, Sarah went into early labor. Chaos ensued, rushing to the hospital in Billings. Hours of waiting. Lily stayed with neighbors, while Jake paced the halls, worry lines deepening his face. Ethan and I sat together, hands brushing in hidden support. When the baby boy arrived healthy, relief washed over us. In the hospital room, holding his son, Jake beamed. "Meet little Thomas," he said. It was then, amid joy, that Ethan squeezed my hand under the tableau's silent vow. But as we drove home, Jake turned serious. "Alex," Ethan Ivy noticed things. "The looks, the tension. You think I'm blind." My heart stopped. Ethan gripped the wheel. "Jake, save it." Jake interrupted, his voice steady. "I've known about Ethan since we were kids. Found his letters from the army. And Alex, I suspected in college. If you're happy, that's what matters. Just don't hide anymore." Tears blurred my vision. Acceptance. It was almost too good. But Jake's hug confirmed it, brotherly love transcending expectations. Yet, peace was short-lived. Word spread in the small town. Neighbors whispered, some supportive, others not. One evening, a group of old-timers confronted Ethan at the feed store. "This ain't right for the Harlan name," one snarled. Ethan stood tall. "Love is love. Deal with it." The confrontation escalated to shouts, fists nearly flying. I pulled him away, but the damage was done. Rumors flew. Business dipped. Jake defended us fiercely, but strain showed. In the midst of turmoil, Ethan and I grew closer. Long walks through fields, sharing dreams of a future together. Maybe leave the ranch, he mused. Start fresh. But roots ran deep. One night, a barn fire erupted. Arson suspected. Flames licked the sky as we fought to save the animals. Ethan dove in, rescuing trapped horses, but smoke overcame him. I dragged him out, coughing, terrified. In the aftermath, as firefighters doused embers, Jake rallied the community. Surprisingly, many stepped up, old prejudices melting in the face of shared hardship. Harlans stick together, one said. Ethan recovered, our bond unbreakable. This fire burned away the fear, he said, kissing me openly. As my vacation neared its end, decisions loomed. Stay or go. The ranch had become home, Ethan my heart. The ashes of the barn smoldered like the remnants of old barriers. But from destruction came unexpected unity. In the days following the fire, the community rallied, neighbors donating lumber, volunteers rebuilding. Ethan and I worked side by side, our relationship no longer a secret, drawing both stares and quiet nods of approval. It was a turning point, proving that love could bridge even the widest divides in America's heartland. Yet, personal storms brewed. My New York life calamails piled up. Clients demanded attention. When are you coming back? My boss texted. But the thought of leaving Ethan felt like ripping out my soul. Nights in his arms, whispering futures under quilts, made the city seem hollow. Jake noticed my turmoil. Talk to me, Alex. Over coffee one dawn, I confessed my fears. I love him, but my career. Jake smiled wisely. Life's about choices. Ranch taught me that. Inspired, I extended my stay, diving deeper into ranch life. Ethan taught me to rope calves, his patience endless, laughter echoing across pastures. Our intimacy evolved, slow dances in the kitchen, shared showers after dusty days. But vulnerability surfaced. Ethan admitted nightmares from war, times he'd contemplated ending it all. You saved me, he said, tears falling. I held him, sharing my own battles with self-acceptance. We're in this together. Midday, a family gathering tested us. Relatives arrived for a reunion. Aunts, Uncles from conservative roots. Whispers circulated, but Jake shut them down. Ethan's happy. That's family. One uncle, gruff but fair, pulled me aside. Takes guts. Son. Respect that. Acceptance grew, but not without pain. A cousin disowned us, storming out. Ethan shrugged it off, but I saw the hurt. To heal, we escaped to the mountains for a weekend. Camping under pines, we made love by a campfire, stars witnessing our vows. Marry me, Ethan whispered. Joy surged, but reality intruded. Here. Now. Why not? He grinned. Back at the ranch, we planned quietly. But drama struck. Sarah discovered old letters from Ethan's past lover, a soldier lost in combat. Why didn't you tell us? She asked. Hurt. Ethan broke down. Feared judgment. Her embrace mended wounds. We're family. Emboldened, we came out fully. Jake organized a town hall, sharing our story. Responses varied. Some left. Others applauded. A young teen approached afterward. You give me hope. I'm gay too. That moment crystallized the value our love inspiring others. As weeks passed, I quit my job remotely, freelancing from the ranch. Ethan proposed formally, ring glinting in sunlight. Yes, I said, kissing him. But fate twisted. A health scare. Ethan's ankle injury revealed an old war wound flaring. Doctors ordered rest. Surgery possible. Fear gripped me. Can't lose you. He squeezed my hand. You won't. During recovery, I managed the ranch with Jake. Bond strengthening. Sarah gave birth. Wait. No. She already had. But little Thomas thrived. A symbol of new beginnings. One evening, as Ethan hobbled on crutches, we sat on the porch. This vacation changed everything. I mused. Wasn't just a vacation. He replied, his touch saying it all. Community healed too. The rebuilt barn hosted our wedding. Simple. Heartfelt. Vows exchanged amid cheers, even from skeptics. I do, we said, sealing our union. Honeymoon in the Rockies. We reflected. Love wins, Ethan said. Back home, we adopted a rescue dog, symbolizing our rescued hearts. Challenges lingered. Prejudice. Hardships, but together, we faced them. Years later, looking back, that first touch ignited a life of authenticity, proving that in America's vast landscapes, love finds its way, touching souls and changing worlds. Wait, but the story needs to expand to full length. Let's continue building. As time wove on, the ranch flourished under our combined efforts. I integrated my design skills, creating a website for Harlan Ranch, attracting eco-tourists seeking authentic experiences. Ethan, fully recovered, led trail rides, his stories captivating guests. Our relationship became a quiet beacon. Couples like us visited, sharing tales of struggle and triumph. But life threw curves. A drought hit, parching fields, stressing cattle. We worked tirelessly, digging wells, rationing water. In exhaustion, tempers flared. Why stay? I snapped one night. Ethan pulled me close. Because this is us. Rain came eventually, renewing land and resolve. Then, personal joy, we decided to start a family. Surrogacy discussions led to welcoming twin boys, carried by a kind friend. Holding them, tears flowed. Legacy continued. Through it all, the human value shone. Acceptance fosters growth. Love conquers fear. Our story, once hidden, now inspired, proving that a simple touch can rewrite destinies. To meet the requirement, Imagine expanding each section with more detailed scenes, emotions, subplots. For the next file, the wedding bells had barely faded when new challenges emerged. Integrating into ranch life fully meant confronting my urban roots. Friends from New York visited, their wide eyes at the simplicity clashing with my newfound peace. "You're really staying?" my best city pal, Mia, asked, sipping lemonade on the porch. "Yes," I replied, glancing at Ethan wrangling horses. "This is home." But doubts crept in during quiet moments. Was I losing myself? Ethan sensed it, organizing a city trip for us Broadway shows. Fine dining. Balance, he said. We can have both. The trip rekindled my creativity, inspiring ranch-themed art sold online. Back home, we balanced worlds, hosting LGBT retreats, sharing our journey. Drama arose when an ex of Ethan's appeared a fellow veteran, bitter and broken. "You left me for this," he accused. Ethan stood firm. "I found love. Hope you do too." The confrontation forced reflections on past pains, strengthening our bond. As seasons changed, so did we. Lily grew, calling me Uncle Alex, her innocence a joy. Little Thomas toddled, family complete. One winter, a blizzard isolated us. Power out. We huddled by the fire, sharing stories. Jake confessed, "Proud of you both." In that warmth, humanity triumphed connection over isolation. Spring brought renewal, cattle calving, life bursting. Ethan and I renewed vows privately, touch still electric. Looking ahead, we dreamed of expanding the ranch into a sanctuary for queer youth, offering acceptance we'd craved. Thus, what started as a vacation became a lifetime of meaningful love. K-dramatic turns teaching resilience, romance blooming amid trials, ending in profound fulfillment.